Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share the recipe of a fantastic cake which is Medovik cake. This is a Russian honey cake which has thin layers of caramelized honey sheet cake and frosted with cream cheese whipped cream. This is a delicious cake and definitely will be a showstopper. The process to make Medovik cake is quite different from the regular cake. Without further ado, let's get started. I have taken 2 eggs here and beat it until it turns frothy. The eggs are perfectly beaten and add in half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. This should be the consistency of the beaten eggs. In a non-stick pan, take 50 grams of butter. Melt the butter at medium flame. Add in 6 tablespoons of sugar. First, we are going to make a dough and then prepare thin sheets of cake. Add in 5 tablespoons of honey. Continue mixing and you'll see sugar is getting melted. After stirring the butter and the honey mix, you will see bubbles forming on top of it. At this stage, add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Once you add baking soda, you will see the mixture is getting thickened and turns dark color. Switch off the flame when the honey mix starts to change color. We have to continue stirring after switching off the flame or else this mix will burn. When you continue stirring, you will find the mixture is turning into caramel color. The honey mix has cooled down slightly and now I am adding in the beaten eggs. We have to add the eggs once the mix has cooled slightly or else it will become scrambled egg. Add in the beaten eggs little by little and continue beating. I am adding the eggs after switching off the flame. To the honey mix, I am adding 2 cups plus 1/4 cup of maida or all-purpose flour. So we need 1/4 cups of maida. We have to sift the maida and add it to the honey mix. Add in maida little by little and mix it with a spatula. Use non-stick pan to make this mix so that the dough doesn't stick much. As I mentioned earlier, the process to make this cake is completely different. Medovik cake has turned one of my favorite cakes now. Now I'm going to mix this dough with the hands and you'll get a sticky dough like this. If you find the dough is too sticky means you can add 1 or 2 tablespoons of maida and mix it. The honey cake dough is ready and I'm wrapping it in a cling film. This dough will be quite sticky only, but we are going to make it firm by refrigerating it for 1 hour. I'm going to keep this cake dough in refrigerator and not in freezer. For the frosting, I'm going to make homemade cream cheese first. If you can buy from store means you can skip this step. Boil half a liter of full fat milk. Once the milk begins to boil, add in the juice of half a lemon. You'll find the milk and the cheese is separating. This is actually paneer or cottage cheese and we'll be making cream cheese out of it. Squeeze it nicely by using a strainer. Leave the cheese in the strainer for 15 minutes. I have crumbled the cheese and going to grind it. Take this cheese in a mixie jar and add in 1 tablespoon of sugar. Add in 1 tablespoon of water and grind it smoothly. If you are buying cream cheese from store means take 50 grams of it. Add in 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla essence. The homemade cream cheese is ready now. Actually, this cream cheese is specific to this frosting only. In a mixing bowl, take 1.5 cups of whipping cream. Beat it nicely to stiff pea consistency. When you tilt the mixing bowl, the cream shouldn't fall up, so this should be the consistency of the whipping cream. To the whipping cream, add in 2 tablespoons of honey. In goes the homemade cream cheese. If you're having store-bought cream cheese means add in 50 grams of it. Beat it nicely until everything combines well. The honey flavored cream cheese frosting is ready now. Next, I'm going to bake the cake. For that, I have taken the dough out of the fridge. The dough is firm and will be easy to make the cake. I have taken a silicone mat so that the dough doesn't stick. Cut the dough into 6 equal parts. I have made 6 balls out of the dough now. I'll be making 5 thin sheet cake and the remaining one will be powdered and used for garnishing. While we work on one dough, we have to cover the remaining doughs with the cling film. I'm going to roll the dough into a thin sheet like we make for roti or chapati. This dough will be quite sticky and we have to dust it with maida while rolling. Once we roll the dough to a medium size, we have to place it on a butter sheet. I have greased the butter sheet as well and we have to roll it thinly. First thing is that if I roll the dough into a thin sheet on a silicone mat means it will be hard for me to transfer it into a baking sheet. I'm going to bake the cake along with the butter sheet. So after placing the cake on the butter sheet, we have to roll it thinly. I'm making a 6.5 inch cake, so cutting it with a ring mold. You can also use 6 inch cake pan to cut the cake. Remove the sides of the cake dough to get a perfect round shape. Prick the cake dough with a fork so that it doesn't rise while baking. We need thin sheets of flat cakes for this. Bake the cake for 3 to 4 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius. The baking time is very important, friends. If you overbake it, this will become biscuit. Look at it, friends. The cake is perfectly baked and it's spongy. You can see this cake is so spongy. Cool the cake completely and remove it from the butter sheet gently. The cake will break when you try to remove it when it's hot. Well, the baking time completely depends on your oven type. You can start by baking it for 3 minutes and if it is still not cooked means increase it by 1 minute. So maximum it will take 5 minutes only. If you bake it for more than 5 minutes means it will turn into a crispy biscuit. So be very mindful while baking this cake. Once the first cake is baked, I am preparing the second one. So do not prepare everything at one time. Actually, I am using one butter sheet for making 2 cakes. Once the first cake is ready, I'll flip the butter sheet and use for the second one. I have prepared 5 sheets of honey cake and it's ready to be frosted with cream cheese whipped cream. I baked the 6th, which is the last honey cake, for 10 minutes. So it has turned crispy and dark now. I'll be using this to cover the cake for garnishing. Take this in a blender and powder it nicely. This honey cake powder adds more taste to the cake. The honey cake powder is ready now. This is simple syrup which will be used for soaking the cake while frosting. I have mixed 1 cup of hot water and 1.5 tablespoons of honey. Here are the 5 layers of thin honey sheet cakes. These cakes are so spongy, so we have to handle it gently. This is the bottom side of the cake and I have placed it on the plate. Soak it with the honey simple syrup. Don't over soak it, there are chances to break. I have placed the cake on a cake board and the bottom part faces the downside. Now soak the top portion of the cake with the simple syrup. Apply a layer of cream cheese whipped cream. I have soaked the bottom part of the second cake with the simple syrup. Soak the top portion of the cake with the simple syrup. Now spread a layer of cream cheese whipped cream. We have to repeat the same step for all the 5 layers of the cake. All the 5 layers of the honey cake are sandwiched with the cream cheese whipped cream. Now I am covering the entire cake with the cream cheese whipped cream. Look at it, friends, the cake is perfectly covered with cream cheese whipped cream. Now cover the cake completely with the honey cake powder. Well, this cake powder gives additional flavor to our cake, so do not skip this step. Well, the cake is covered with honey cake powder. And I have cleaned the sides of the cake board as well. To make it more beautiful, I'm just adding some golden sprinkles. I took these honeybees from the cereal light. The beautiful 5 layers of Russian honey cake is ready now. We have to refrigerate it for at least 1 hour before serving. This cake is so spongy and just melts in your mouth. I'll cut the slice and show it to you how it looks inside. Look at it, friends, how beautiful the 5 layers of Medovik cake looks from inside. This cake is so soft, spongy and full of honey flavor in it. I would highly recommend to try this cake at least once and you wouldn't regret for the effort you put for making this cake. Do try this cake and share me the feedback. Subscribe my channel for more interesting recipes. I'll see you next video. Until then, bye bye and take care.